Welcome to another anynode video. In this edition, we invite you to sit back and watch how to set up and enable media recording for an existing anynode configuration. We also show an example of integrating a third-party application via the anynode REST API to access all recordings via a PowerShell script. Basically, anynode offers two different recording options. Data can be recorded on the anynode system, or another call can be established to an external recording server, which then handles the recording and archiving. In this video, we will present both options. For successful media recording, you need the following requirements. For full functionality, you need anynode version 4.8 or higher. A separate media recording license. An authorized anynode frontend user to access the media recordings if you want to record within anynode. This is not necessary for server-side recording. First, check whether you have installed a license for media recording. Each call requires a media recording session as long as it is recorded. In the case of multiplex recording to multiple destinations, one session is charged for each number of destinations. In our example, we use a ready-made configuration consisting of an XCAPI and a provider. To enable media recording, the associated route entry must be configured with its destination node and the corresponding routing forward profile. In our example, the routing domain entry to XCAPI with the to XCAPI routing forward profile is used. We will now take a closer look at the settings for this. Open the routing forward profile in the left menu tree. In our example, we use the to XCAPI routing forward profile. Media recording can be enabled in the Settings tab by creating a new media recorder or selecting an existing one. It is also possible to play an announcement on the incoming node, i.e. the calling side, and/or outgoing node, i.e. the called side. Since there is no media recorder object by default, a new object must be created. To do this, simply use the plus button, enter a name and confirm with OK. Then select the new media recorder object. You can navigate directly over the object or use the stylus to get to the configuration details. There are several options for where to record. Record to files, this records a file on your local anynode computer. Record by establishing a telephony connection to a recording server, this option records by establishing a telephony connection to a recording server. Multiplex recording to multiple targets, with this option, it is possible to record to multiple targets, e.g. one file and two recording servers. Do not forget to always confirm your selection finally with a commit. It is possible to change some recording settings in a created media recording object. In companies or institutions where calls without recording are not allowed, it is recommended to use the default setting to cancel the call if recording errors occur. Anynode can record calls in different formats. Depending on further processing, you can choose between the following formats: WAV, RAW G711 binary data. When you record in the default WAV file format, compatibility with other programs is highest. It is also possible to set a custom media transcoding options object to change the media transcoding in the recording from anynode's default settings, for example, by adding comfort noise to the recording. You have the option to specify various settings, e.g. which of the transmit and/or receive streams should be recorded. The default values are sufficient here in most cases. The recording function comes in two flavors. Anynode can record individual telephony sessions or telephony forwarding sessions, the latter being two sessions between which signaling and media forwarding are set up. This setting controls how anynode records forwardings. The options are: record everything. If you enable this option, anynode will fall back to the next option, record media sent to the participants. Currently, anynode does not support a format that can truly record all streams. Record media sent to the participants. Select this option to make anynode record only the media streams it sends. This has the advantage of also recording media that anynode itself adds to the media streams. Record media received from the participants. With this option, anynode records all media it receives. This does not include media that anynode inserts itself. Recording media received from and sent to the primary or secondary session. In all situations, except for path substitutions, the primary session is the original session coming into anynode, and the secondary session is the one going out. This option records all media sent to and received from either of these sessions, including any media that anynode inserts for that session. It is useful for documenting customer experiences or for diagnostics. Recording both individual sessions. Anynode sets up a recording session for each telephony session in the forwarding. This means that 2 output files will be created, or even more if multiple output file formats are configured. In the following session recording settings, you can specify exactly what is recorded for each session. Recording the primary or secondary session. Anynode records only one of the sessions according to the settings made below. Record individual sessions by recording sent and received media. Anynode receives data from and sends data to the remote party. This recording mode records both data streams. In WAV files, separate streams will remain available. In G711, both streams will be mixed. Recording media sent to or received from the remote device. Only one of the 2 media streams is recorded. Media recording can only be accessed by users who have been released for media recording in the user administration. The default user anadmin with the user role administrator automatically has no access rights to recorded audio files, but can only grant this access right to other users. Please observe the applicable legal regulations for voice recordings in your country. To allow a user to access the media recordings, open the user management and edit an existing user. You can also create a new user. In the roles, activate Media Recorder. End the wizard with Finish. An authorized user can easily access the media recordings via the call history. The recorded media sessions are displayed with a prominent gray recording icon. Double-clicking on the entry in the call history displays its details. There you can see the recorded media streams displayed with the selected recording file format. Please note, if an unauthorized front-end user tries to access media recordings, the message "No permission to access media recordings" will be displayed instead. The recorded file can be downloaded directly by clicking on the available recording file. Each recorded media file has a unique identifier. Such identifiers can also be used by third-party applications via Anynode's REST API. In this context, the best integration example is accessing the media recordings via a PowerShell script, which we will look at in more detail in a moment. The storage period for media recordings can be selected via the monitor settings of the front end. You may need to adjust this period to comply with all national and international privacy and data protection regulations. The daily retrieval of recorded media recording files is also possible in an automated way via a PowerShell script. The REST API support of Anynode is used for this. Thus, the evaluation of recorded conversations can also be performed with external programs. We offer a ready-to-use PowerShell script, which can be adapted later according to the requirements. The script for the REST API of anynode can be found in the anynode installation path. This sample PowerShell script can only be used with an encrypted connection to anynode via HTTPS. A signed certificate must be stored. To learn how to set up an encrypted connector for anynode, see our learning video Remote Access. Place the PowerShell script in a folder where the media recordings are to be saved. Click on Edit. Our sample PowerShell script needs to be double-checked for the correct URL and port before use. This data can be easily read from the settings for the created HTTPS connector in the anynode frontend. You can make the changes directly in the text editor. Check the value for the variable filter date time period. Use the value today if you want to retrieve all of today's records. Save the edited script and execute it afterward. In our example script, all recorded media recordings of outgoing calls from today are retrieved. If other filters are desired for the selection, the command line can easily be compiled in the anynode frontend with the usual user environment in the call history. To do this, select some filters and then get the variable of the command line under preview at this point with capital letters, which is simply inserted in the PowerShell script. The directory where the retrieved recordings are stored is created in the directory from which you start the script. For better assignment of the audio files, the name of the session is automatically entered in the folder name, and a text file with call data is also created. With the media telephony recorder, it is possible to record calls to a recording server. In this object, you must enter the outgoing node used for the recording session and the destination dial string. It is optionally possible to define the source dial string and the display name. It may be mandatory for the receiving side of this media recording to enter a source dial string. In the recording settings, there are options for: if an error occurs, this setting changes the behavior if a node terminates the entire session or only stops recording. Even hanging up the call is interpreted as an error by any node. Forward media data. This setting determines whether any node sends the audio data to the subscribers immediately or waits until the recording server is also connected. It is possible to select a telephony forwarding profile, which is the lower part of a routing forward profile. Choose a profile that is already used in another route or create a new one. If none is selected, any node will simply use its default settings. Again, you have the option to specify different settings for which of the send and/or receive streams should be recorded. Record forwarded sessions by mixing media sent to the participants. When you connect two telephony sessions, any node receives media from each session and sends it to the other session. Select this to have any node mix both media streams it sends and record that. This has the advantage of also including any media any node itself adds to the media streams, such as ringback or music on hold. Mixing media received from the participants. Any node records all media it receives instead. This does not include any node media any node inserts itself. Mixing media received from and sent to the primary or secondary session. In all but path replacement situations, the primary session is the originating session that comes into any node, and the secondary session is the one going out. These recording mode record all media sent to and received from one of these sessions, including all media anynode inserts toward that session. It is suitable for documenting customer experiences or for diagnosing. Recording both individual sessions. Anynode establishes a recording session for each telephony session in the forwarding. It calls the recording server twice. See the session recording settings below for fine control over what is recorded for the individual sessions. Recording the primary or secondary session. Anynode records only one of the individual sessions according to the settings made below. Record individual sessions by mixing sent and received media. Anynode receives data from and sends data to the remote party. This recording mode records both data streams. In WAV file, separate streams will remain available. In G711, both streams will be mixed. Recording media sent to or received from the remote device. Only one of the two media streams is recorded. The signaling data option can be used to specify whether signal data should also be sent to the recording server. In addition to simple file recording, Anynode supports call branching to many recording solutions. Multiple recorders can now be addressed simultaneously. Calls can be recorded simultaneously from Anynode to multiple external recording solutions. With its multiplexer function, the Anynode Media Recording Assistant offers a simple and clear way to configure multiple external recording solutions. For example, a law firm can configure voice recording to two different external recording solutions to increase recording reliability. We have now reached the end of this tutorial video, and thank you for your attention.